and I wanted to um, link the video below. So if you look in the description, you'll see how the mantelpiece looked like previously. I did have it kind of minimalistic, or so I thought it was. This is garland. So all of these items, okay, actually, except these, all of these items were free. This thing I actually found, I found it after Christmas, and someone was tossing it out, and I was like, "Oh my goodness, I could actually use that." And then these two figurines, it's a good and cheap over here. This was in the recycle bin. This one was on the sidewalk in a free box, and it didn't look that good, so I actually melted the wax and then poured it in here. I've always wanted to make it a little higher, but haven't come across any wax. And then these were three birds that I got when I was dumpster diving at a retail store. And so what I did is we have pine cone trees around where we live, and I had this out, and what I put a bunch of pine cones throughout here, so that way it looked a little bit more realistic. So you put some up here, some down here, and I ended up with a whole bunch of them. So for this, I've decided that, hey, it's summertime coming up. This is probably the time that I'm not feeling like I really want to do a heavy garland. Spring is kind of light, it's kind of airy. And for this stuff, I want to put it into storage because right now I'm feeling to be a little bit more minimalistic. Some people will look at this and be like, Erica, it already kind of does look minimalistic. Maybe, maybe not. The garland, the two figurines, the candle, and a whole bunch of pine cones and the little tree, the little birds. So the birds were resting on top of here, so it looked a little bit more cute. Oh, I have one of them. So two of them. Let's see. This one has a little thing. This one fell out of the blue one. I keep sticking it in. I gotta glue it in. And then this one just sat on top. So this stuff, it's small decorations. I could just give this away if I wanted to, but I like the garland because it lasts forever. I don't want to be one of those people. It's like Christmas season comes around and I'm like, oh crap, I gotta buy Christmas stuff, I gotta decorate. No, I used to be very pro getting fresh garland, and we actually had fresh garland, I believe, this Christmas. And you guys can see some streams about that. I didn't like it because the freaking needles kept shedding. So although it smelled good, it's like I constantly was spraying it with water, and then every morning I look at it and I'd be like, oh, more garland fell, more needles fell. And it was a little annoying. It was pretty annoying, and I didn't want to deal with all that maintenance. But the smell is really good. It really smells like Christmas. So with this, you might look at this and you'll be like, Erica, why does this side look a little bit thicker than this side? Well, the reason is that I'm planning to put this in storage. So I've been smashing it down. See? So if you come across some of this fake garland and it looks kind of ratty, here's the secret. Even for fake Christmas trees, even if it looks like crap, what's important is you space it out. You space it out so that way it looks more real. I would also recommend using real elements. So in my case, I used real pine cones. See? So it gives it a element of realness that you really see if you have fake pine cones. By the way, I've seen fake pine cones. They look like crap. So some people, they say put these things in the oven. I did not put these in the oven. I actually just picked them up, and then I had them outside the freaking front door for about 2 months. And I didn't notice anything. We've had these for about over a year, and I don't know how long they're gonna last. But if there were any bugs in here, they're definitely gone. So yeah, so I'm gonna continue scrunching these kind of things over here. And most likely, I'm going to end up putting this in a garbage bag unless I put it in some sort of cardboard box or some sort of Sterilite container. We do have a Sterilite container that I can put it inside of it. And I'm just making do with what we have in the apartment. So, decorating, right? Decorating this kind of stuff. This could be Christmas. This could be just year round. But light, it's portable. And you don't have to think about when Christmas comes, like, frick, how am I, I got to get the garland out. You already have the freaking garland. And I know people will say this is not environmentally friendly. It isn't. So my solution to that would be get garland, or be on the lookout after Christmas for people tossing this stuff. I have seen Christmas trees as recently as like 2 months ago. People are trying to give them away. We already have 2 Christmas trees. We have 3 Christmas trees in this apartment. So I don't have a use for another Christmas tree. I really wanted to take in another Christmas tree, but I was like, frick, Erica, where the hell are you going to put another Christmas tree? See, there's our 2 Christmas trees. These were both rescued. Those were free Christmas trees. And this was rescued as well. So, and here is my setup. I know I have the tags over there, but this is my little decorative setup. Also completely free. See, I do need to work on rearranging that a little, but I just did stick with a color scheme, which is white, bright cream, white branches, and then tan. So you'll see around the apartment, I stick with a color scheme and then also some soft grays. That's a Pusheen. I have it there because I thought it was kind of cute. It's super nice. So, and this is a planter. I mean, not a vase that I picked up. And someone said like, oh, it's plastic, and nobody wanted this freaking flower arrangement that they were tossing except me. And then when I found out that was glass, like, oh my gosh, this is perfect. So there are pieces that I pick up because it's like I see like, okay, this is a really good foundational piece. And something like that kind of vase, I didn't know exactly what I was going to be putting in there, but I knew I was going to put something in there. And I felt like this was a pretty good thing over here. So the cat tree is now over there. There is Oriole scratching post over there. So I moved it from the left side of the apartment to this side of the apartment. And again, this is going to go in storage. It's not very much. Maybe I'll put the candles somewhere else, but yeah. So storage wise, I don't want to, I know this is going to sound funny, but I want to lessen the amount of decorations that we have on standby because I really think less is more. And I don't, like I said, I don't want to be the one of the hustle bustle of, okay, I got to buy stuff. And then you get into consumerism, because what I see too much happening in New York is people buy stuff. They focus too much on seasonal instead of year round. And then they find out like, okay, now, oh, I'm moving. Oh, I can't bring my Halloween decorations with me. Oh, I got to toss it out, let's say in the middle of summer. And nobody wants the freaking decorations because it's not Halloween yet. So when I went to that little free event, someone tossed out a whole bunch of garland, and I was so tempted to take it and bring it home. But then I thought to myself, frick, Erica, you only have two mantelpieces, and yeah, you could have it synchronized with garland, but I didn't really want to bring a big trash can of stuff with me. And it actually worked out because what happened was that was the day that I brought the litter robot home. So if I had this big bag of fake garland with me plus the litter robot, there was no way I would be able to get home unless I took an Uber or something. So sadly, the garland that I saw at the free event, I don't think it was picked up because nobody wants it if it's outside of holiday season. And even if it's outside of holiday season, right? People, they buy the fake stuff and then they toss it out. It's such a freaking waste. It really triggers me when I see people toss out fake Christmas trees and they're not moving. It's just like, oh, okay, well, I don't want to store it because it's it's past Christmas. I'm like, just get a freaking real one. If you don't plan to keep your Christmas tree for a long time, just get the real one. That would be my suggestion, because if you're only going to keep it for 3 months or so, it's just so bad for the environment and nobody else is going to want a freaking Christmas tree. So this wasn't very much stuff. Like, I picked these up in 4 different trips. So these came together, right? I mean, like, I can carry this with one hand. This was another separate event. These were 3 actually different events. I mean, like, look how light these things are. This I picked up maybe on 3 different times. I had like 15 of them, and then this I picked up on another time. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, so at least 5 different trips. And this is just me walking around. I'm not looking for this stuff, but if I come across this stuff, then I will pick it up. The stick, for instance, this came with red. I don't like red. I've been very open about that. I hate the freaking color red for decorating. It just has too much, it's just too distracting. It's not calming. So yeah, I got rid of the red branches. Someone wanted it, and I was like, yes. I gave them a suggestion. I was like, oh, if you put the red inside of like a tall vase or something, that might look pretty nice. But I didn't, and then they said, oh, they would try to work with it. So the red is gone. I just have the white and the tan and the little hydrangeas over here. And yeah, it's okay. It's okay. Yeah, I figured something out over there. The hydrangeas always look a little wonky. So this is my setup over here. And if you guys remember my stream that I did, I said I saw this bowl and I wanted to keep it, but I had no use for this bowl. So remember the pine cones that I said I used for the garland? I actually arranged them inside of this bowl. And the way I arrange this is I have like a bunch stacked on the bottom, flat. And then, here, let me pull this out. And one thing I noticed about decorating is they like symmetry. So when I put this, see, I see the base, they're all flat. So after I had a base, I said, okay, Erica, get the two short ones over here and then try to find ones with a similar length. Because, right? Pair. See these look kind of similar size. I mean, I'm just making do with what I have already in the apartment. And then this. So the golden way of arranging flowers and things like that seems to be a star shape, like a 5-point. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So you'll see me 1, right? This is like 12 o'clock. Sorry if my thing looks a little wonky. 1, 2, make a star. And then 3. Okay, in this event that I only took out 6. Wait, hold on. 3. Oh goodness, hold on. This is harder to do with one hand. 3. So right, you have 3 over here. 1, 2, 3. And then I'll just put 2 in the middle over here. See that? And then you could just arrange it so it looks a little nicer. Or I could have just moved 1 over here and then made the tiny one pointing on top. So it kind of points outwards. See, 1, 2, 3, 4. And it doesn't look too bad. I could arrange it a little, angle it a little different. Maybe a little upwards or something. Just play around with it. But yeah, with this, and then I have the 2 candles over here trying to be symmetrical, and that is it. So I made use of my bowl, made use of my pine cones, and I made use of the freaking candles. And I think this is pretty minimalistic. This bowl could have been used for all sorts of things. Let me show you guys this really quickly. I don't think I can, yeah, my tripod's not freaking tall enough. So this one, can I go taller? No, I can't go taller. Damn it. Yeah, so you have 2 candles of the same size. These are LED candles. I do have a remote for them as well, but I don't have the batteries put inside because I never really use them. But I like using LED candles because if you're like me, right, you don't want to spend the freaking money on freaking candles, and if you fall asleep, you don't want to burn your place down. So this one, see, they come with batteries. Let's see if the batteries still work. Yeah, see, so it kind of flickers. I don't know if you guys can see it, but it definitely flickers a little. It's not very noticeable. But yeah, flickering is the way to go because it looks real. Maybe it doesn't look 100% real, but you know what? I'll take that than freaking burning the place down. So I have 1 framing on each side, and yes, I know people will say, Erica, why don't you screw the bottom? The reason why I don't screw the bottom is, going to be honest over here, this one's kind of like a piece of crap. So every time I want to turn this thing on, right? Every time I want to turn this thing on manually or something, I mean, I could use the battery here. I don't think the battery works. Yeah, I don't have the battery working on here. But if I wanted to turn it on manually or remove the thing, then I gotta keep unscrewing it. So that's why I just thought like, okay, Erica, nobody's freaking moving it. So that's why I did what I did. So you can screw it on over here, see, like that. But I just think like, oh, sometimes I feel lazy and I'm like, I don't. Sometimes I feel lazy and I'm like, okay, I'll just keep it kind of like that. Especially when I had the garland, I didn't feel like, see, I didn't feel like removing the batteries too much. But if you want to see it lit, oh crap! See, I don't know why the battery keeps falling. I think the battery keeps falling out because this thing isn't solid enough so it can work without the freaking cover. But yeah, you can definitely avoid this if you, hold on. You can definitely avoid this if you have a battery in the remote, but I don't have a battery in the remote, so yeah, you can actually, this is actually user error or something. But I don't like storing these things long time with the batteries because I'm worried I'm gonna get corrosion. So yeah, Here we go. See that? It's kind of nice. It's about the same size. I think I got about, I think 8 of them for $17 on Amazon. I got them a while back. So if you see them, this is perfectly centered. They look kind of like this. See? So it's, you have a lot of negative space, and this is what I say. I talk about the negative space a lot because, like, yeah, you might be tempted to clutter this thing up, but what I realized truly is, like, if I start putting stuff in here, it's gonna look more and more cluttered. You see? See that? Some people will say, like, oh, Erica, this doesn't look too bad, but I'm thinking, like, nah. See? So when you do this kind of stuff, it's very important to strip things out and then say, where do you think you're at, where you think it's perfect. And at this point in time, I feel like this is really good, but I'm going to keep the other parts in as well. I've already wet this down, believe it or not. It just looks like that. So yeah, this is lit and it's nice. It looks a lot more airy than having the garland, and I personally really like it. And I would suggest, like, if you guys want to do some sort of like decorating of sorts, make sure look at foundational pieces, because I've spent, you guys know I get freaking neurotic about this stuff, but what you want to focus on is what are pieces that are considered to be foundational, and foundational tends to be candles and then this kind of porcelain looking thing. I was really surprised to see, like, I saw that when I was volunteering, some people dropped off some free stuff and nobody took that. I was like, oh my gosh. So I stopped volunteering, right? I got off, usually I help out with food distribution, and I just like walked over there and I was like, oh, I gotta take this. So let me show you how I do this yet again. So you guys can see all this stuff. So if you want to make it look a little nice too, like instead of having a bowl, what you could do is you could like space it out, and I would probably do something like this, you know, like back and forth, like kind of thing. See that? I think that looks kind of rustic looking, but it looks also a little busy. I know the spacing isn't right, but just play around with it. It's kind of fun to play around. So here's all my stuff over here. I have some stuff. But if you look over here, this is the brand that makes it, Strawberry Street. I don't know where they got it from, but it looks kind of handmade, doesn't it? It has this little, it looks like this is some pottery that was made. And I always think, like, whenever you see these kind of grooves that isn't so symmetrical, you can kind of see that it looks like there's a dent over here. These are really markers to tell you that this kind of stuff tends to be pretty pricey. And yeah, for free, it's like you can't beat it. See? So I notice the details very much. People in New York tend to really like, expensive looking things or artisanal looking things. So let's see over here. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. So I have a base of 3 over here. Let's see how this turns out. I'm going to do this with one hand, okay? So I have a base of 3. All of them face it this way. And then let's try the star thing. So we got 1 over here, 2. Whoops. You know what? I think this one's a little big. Let's put this on the bottom. Yeah, this one's closer to this. See? See, the size is kind of the same. So we'll make a base of 3. Actually, yeah, maybe I'll make it alternate. So I'll make 2 over there and 1 over there. If you look down, it doesn't look like I just put 3 on the bottom. So we'll do a star. Let's see. This is all just experimentation. Oh, crap. I forgot. Yeah, this one over here. One moment. This one's a white one. So this is the one that I usually use for Christmas. Okay. 1, 2, 3. Let me put... Someone's looking at this and like, oh my gosh, Erica, this is a terrible DIY. Okay. This is just me playing around. Let's do it that way. Okay. So this one that way, this one's this way, this one, yeah, the base is over here. Right? Yeah, base. No, the base is over here, the base is over here, and the pointy part is over here. So I got two pointing that way, and then this one pointing that way. And let's see. So we got two over here. Let's do the star. Have enough? Oh crap! I'm off. Two. See how this looks. Two. Two. Oh, I want to have one more over here because it'll be perfect. Yeah, if I had one more, it would be great. Let's see. Let me get one from the bottom. Ah! My pine cone fell. This is what happens when you don't do things scripted. When I had it the first time, it was perfect. Let's see. Two. Two, two, two. Okay, I'm gonna get this one. Oh my gosh, another pine cone fell. Okay, let's do this. Okay, so one, two, where's my matching ones? I will use this and this together, and I'll put these two together. Yeah. Okay. Three over here. Let's do two over here. We'll do two. These two. So base is over here. Two over here. Two over here. I'm trying to make a star. Ish. Actually, that's not really a star. That's a 4 point. There we go. Okay, so something like this. Of course, play around with it if you guys want. But this looks a little matchy-matchy, so I gotta like rearrange it just a little. But the whole idea is that it looks, whoops, it's kind of inviting. That kind of stuff. So, and then I move this thing over here. I'll sweep up in a bit. And that is all how it goes. So, I think, yeah, this kind of stuff is a way that decorating, it's so much more simple. But I don't anticipate having this thing year round. I think in Christmas time, I'm going to put the garland back up. But you can see, right, instead of having to store the pine cones, whatever pine cones I don't use for the Christmas garland over here can go into this bowl. And if one gets ratty or something like that, or if I come across another pine cone I want to replace it with, then there are a bunch of pine cones outside. People recommend for pine cones, you put them in the oven and you, I don't know the temperature of it, but they basically say bake it for a little bit so that way you kill any bug eggs. I didn't do that. I just put them inside of a cardboard box for about 6 months. And then the ones that weren't so sticky or anything, I just kept them inside. So I feel like I got pretty lucky because maybe there would have been a lot of bugs, but I haven't noticed anything with that. But yeah, I would highly suggest, right? Be on the lookout for things that look handmade, ceramic, pottery, that kind of stuff. This is the kind of pieces that when people look at it, they might think like, oh crap, this looks like a pretty expensive bowl possibly. And again, right, indentations here. And this is not level. So this is not one of those bowls where you think, oh, okay, well, you know, she just got this from Walmart or something like that. I don't know. I don't think this bowl was very expensive. It seemed like it had a very generic sounding name. But yeah, you got to be very selective about what you pick. And if you have kind of like, I don't want to say the eye, but if you kind of like know like, okay, well, these are the kind of pieces that you would see in a more expensive store or something similar to that, that's the kind of stuff that you want to have, because that would be really the best bang for your buck. So yeah, I hope that you guys found this little video useful. I do strongly suggest, if you guys like have a bunch of figurines on a mantelpiece, and I know this sounds very hypocritical, especially with the stream that I did earlier today at 2:45 talking about my anime figurines. Oh, I had like 60 anime figurines in Halloween. I mean in Hawaii, but I would say a lot of the all the like the little doodads and stuff like that, try and minimize it, because if you have too many of them, I find that it detracts the attention on the stuff that's really like special. For instance, right? Like if I had put like this and this right next to it, your eye is going to be looking at those figurines, right? And you might think like, okay, Erica, and this also doesn't match, right? But here's the thing. You would be so focused on the shiny metallics of the figurines or looking at all 5 items evenly that you would not notice that the freaking pottery has these little indentations as much. See? So now because there's less items, your eye can focus on the bowl and it can focus on the pine cones. So it's all about like where do you want to focus, where do you want to have the line of focus on. And for me personally, I rather have it on this bowl and the pine cones because there's something pretty calming and serene about this kind of stuff. And I'm happy because I don't have to store the freaking pine cones. I was genuinely thinking like, what the hell am I going to do with these pine cones now that I pulled them out? I didn't want to put them back outside because I thought, well, if I put them outside, then that means next Christmas I'm going to have to collect more pine cones. And yeah, so this stuff, so this and this is one. And then here is another one that I picked up. I know, I'm by where the power cords are over here. So this is another thing that I picked up over here. And this is a whole bunch of freaking floral. And why I picked this thing up specifically is I really like the detail of this. So this is actually about $25. It's made out of plastic. And here's something you guys might have not known. When I picked it up, it was actually cracked. So I hid all the cracks underneath the floral. So if you see it from the top view, you'll see you see the triangles over there. You can see these triangles popping out, but you won't see the ones that broke off. And yeah, so I really like that. This whole setup was completely free. The Christmas trees were free. The lights was free. That was free. That whole flower thing over there was free. Yeah, but I enjoy picking up items that I see that I can work with. But again, as much as some people might think I pick up everything, I truly don't. I try to be very, very selective about certain pieces, and I have zero desire, for instance, adding more Christmas trees because you already got 2 Christmas trees over here, plus this. I don't have space for a 3rd Christmas tree because I got the lamp over there, and there's like a fine balance around here. See? So, yeah, and then there's Clinton's cat bed, there's the air filter, his stuff, and yeah, so if you look at over here, and there's a garland that I was supposed to get a freaking Christmas Trader Joe's garland last year, but I didn't go to Trader Joe's, so I freaking only have 2019's garland. I don't have the 2020 garland. Whoops, my bad. So my idea with that was keep one for every Christmas that Lewis and I spend together, and I already messed up because I don't have the garland for that year. Oh well, maybe I'll just say that this was it. Who knows? So yeah, this kind of stuff, you can see that the colorful stuff back there, I try to keep it off camera because I got yellows and pinks and greens. It's a little too colorful versus over here towards the front. I'm sticking with green, right? Solid greens, white, and then I have the pop of purple over there. To be honest, I didn't plan on having the pop of purple. It's just that when I picked up this whole thing, it came with a freaking few purple, and I was thinking, okay, I'll just put the purple, mix it in with this stuff, and yeah, and then yeah, so I picked up actually most of these all in one fell swoop, and I remember I was thinking like, oh my gosh, I hit the mother load, and then later on, I found this, and I was like, oh, this is perfect. So I don't find this all at one time. It can take me a couple months to find something, but then when I find the piece, then I put it together, and yeah, I think it's really great. But in terms of floral around the apartment, there isn't really much I want to add to this apartment. Over here, you can see I have some floral over there. I need to clean up the kitchen, but there's an attempt over there. And then there's a cat over there. And then there's the stuff that I'm trying to declutter over there. That tablecloth needs to get going. And that is a wreath that I need to find floral for, but I haven't found anything. And my picture fell down over there. So kitchen is always a work in progress over there. Always a work in progress. But it is moving. So slow little progressions moving forward definitely add up, for sure. And yeah, even though I would like to say this is a video that's like, okay, you know, I can redo this whole apartment in 20 minutes, I have to have these like little moments of like, okay, well, Erica, focus on something, okay, clean it up, see how it looks like, okay, go back to it, see how you like it. And ultimately, I want to have something that looks really, oh, there's my favorite chair, or my chair. Um, ultimately, I want to have something that looks really nice. Here is something else. So remember I was telling you about the pillows? So these pillows, they're both goose feather pillows, and you can see I'm trying to make them into a V shape. It's a little tough. I don't know how people do it. See, I'm trying to intersect it over there. And yeah, I'm gonna have to get a pillowcase for these things, so that way they're matching. One is a darker color than the other, so I want to have symmetry here. But yeah, once I have these nice looking pillowcases, I'll feel like they go together. I know some people don't like goose feathers or anything, but frickin', I've tried so many cushions. Goose feathers are really my favorite ones because they're so soft and they're so plush. And in my opinion, they're really the premium pillowcase. So when I was in Hawaii, my pillow when I sleep, it's a goose down. It's a goose down pillow. I got it, and I've showed you guys, like, I love freaking Macy's hotel collection so much. We don't have any in this apartment, but if you buy them, like, when they go on sale around Black Friday, you usually can get one, like, buy one, get one free, or you can get a 50% off. And I wait for that. I wait for Black Friday just to buy hotel collection stuff at 50% off. There's nothing that I want to buy for hotel collection except maybe bath towels in the future, um, or a pillow. But other than that, like that's all I like from hotel collection. Bed sheets are nice too. Oh, I forgot. Yeah, they also have a down comforter too. That's really nice too. So I'm a big fan of down jackets, down gloves. I have a down jacket, down winter jacket, down gloves, down pillows, and what else? Down, I think that's it. Down comforter. Yeah, that's too. So, um, gonna be frank here though. I don't hoard up on down stuff though. I try to be very mindful about down because I think, you know, if you can assure, if you know that the, how would I phrase this? There, I don't want to get too much into animal ethics over here, but you know, as a meat eater, right, I'm very aware about, I try to be very mindful about animal welfare or how the animals are raised or how the animals are treated. If the down is taken from let's say a goose that's already dead, you know, people eat duck, people consume goose, um, then I have no problem with it because I see it as using the byproducts of what would otherwise be discarded. But there are certain places that do live plucking, and I think it's extremely cruel. So these two pillows that I picked up, these were secondhand. And I found them and I gave them a look over, and I didn't, you know, I always check for bugs and things like that, so I didn't see anything wrong with them. But yeah, I try to be very mindful about that. And I know some people will be like, oh, you know, Erica, that's terrible, but what I do instead is I try to baby my down stuff. So my down gloves, I only have one pair of winter gloves that I always use. It's the down gloves. And I always make sure, like, I don't want to ever lose those gloves. If they break, I'm going to try to repair them. For a pillow like this, right, I want it to last a really long time because it's like I kind of mindful, like, hey, this is an animal product. I don't know about how the animal was treated, but in the event, right, in the event that it was a live plucking, which I consider to be very horrific, I want to make sure that I take care of it a really long time. And I say the same thing about having a fur jacket. You guys know, some people will say, like, screw you, Erica, for having a fur jacket, but it's all about the maintenance. I don't get things just for looks. I get it for to use it. So yeah. So with that little thing, right? if you guys want to get a down pillow or down comforter, I do consider those to be premium products. I have tried alternative things like fiberfill or things like a Primaloft. I don't like the feel of it. I can kind of, maybe it's just me, but I feel like it's not as plush as having a down pillow. So I am a big fan of down pillows. They're just airy and they're beautiful. But again, very very important to be mindful about that. If you can rehome a secondhand down pillow, that would be my ideal suggestion to you guys. I rather get things secondhand than new. However, when you do something, let's say like a comforter, right, you might not want to do that because a pillow technically tends to be an aesthetic thing, right? You're not sleeping long hours in it. And if you get it secondhand, like a down comforter, you kind of think like, okay, well, what if there's like sweat residue? If you cannot really wash a comforter unless you bring it to like let's say a dry cleaner. And I think the cost for washing a duvet cover is about a duvet itself is about $50. So we have duvet covers that we get instead, and then I wash that. But I don't wash the duvet itself because I'm always changing out the comforter. So that's why I want to get a pillowcase for these things, because these things actually don't have covers on them. They're just bare. But because I wasn't really using them, I was like, okay, well, that's just going to be something that's on the back of my mind. But now, because they're out in front and center, and I do go on this couch quite often, then yeah, see? So I gotta get my V's. I gotta get my V like freaking down. So whenever you see people with these freaking V's on their pillows, you see my handprint over there. No, it's very, very much intentional. I think there's a way to make this look more aesthetic, but I don't know how to do that. Oh, that looks like I put my tiny little hand here. Okay. I don't know how they do it. Do they go like this? Yeah, maybe they go like that. Okay, there we go. Maybe I'll just put my thing over there. Kind of looks like a fortune cookie. I gotta look at like pillow fluffing 101 kind of thing. But yeah, I'm gonna get two matching ones, and that way they look symmetrical. So it's all about symmetry. Two Christmas trees, two pillows, two candles, and having it all be around the same kind of flow. Um, but yeah, I don't. I would tell you guys this. Whatever you decide to get, be mindful about be mindful about what you're consuming. I know this is going to sound like crazy minimalist over here. Obviously, I'm not a crazy minimalist, or so I think. But you don't want to store this kind of stuff. You don't want to store too much stuff, especially if you don't. I think, like, some people, they throw things into the basement or the attic and then they forget about it. And I don't want to be one of those people who I have to go through box after box after box of Christmas stuff, putting up Christmas decorations. That's really not for me. Maybe in the future, maybe I'll have a whole bunch of Christmas lights, but I don't want to go like crazy on Christmas for sure. I feel like you can just get kind of like the same look if you get one of those like little hanging. You guys can look in the video in the description, my Christmas decorating tips. That doesn't involve much space, or it's very very cheap. But yeah, keep it simple. I don't want to. Yeah, keep it simple. Make use of the negative space. Go with high quality items, because high quality items are really like the superstars, and handmade is really like a handmade look is the way to go. Too short where you have shitty pillows. Like, I'm gonna be frank here. Like, I don't like the freaking pillows. Let me show you guys this one. Hold on, hold on. Let me get it. You know what? Let me show you guys this. This is another area that I was working on at freaking 2 a.m. today. So, yep. So you guys can see this pile I have to go through. I actually have to post that. That's our food. This is that thing I got to redo. But this is our couch over here. The flowers. This is a whole bunch of stuff here. And yeah, I really got to make this as like a freaking... So there's our throw blanket over there. And if you look closely, I dealt with symmetry. See, you got two furries. And then you got two whites. See this print? And then I couldn't get rid of this freaking pillow. I can't get rid of my bait pillow. I just think it's so cute. So yeah, see that? I feel like it looks a little empty, so I always just put my little bait pillow. It's not the best sewing job, but yeah, it's cute. So these pillowcases, I actually did buy them. I bought them off Amazon, and yeah, so they're all about the same size. These are like crappy pillows. So these are the pillows that used to be in the back of the stream, on the couch. And if you look, it's like it's solid. You know, it's just it doesn't have that kind of plush thing, just like the. Hold on. It doesn't have that plushness like the down feather one. You see this? It's like that freaking. It's the stuff that you see in cheap stuffed animals. I think it's called fiberfill, pillow stuffing, kind of lumpy, kind of, yeah, not something you want to lounge around for long periods of time. But I mean, it's not a bad pillow. Don't get me wrong. It's like once you get a down pillow, it's like a game changer compared to these things. So these are just decorative pillows that it looks, yeah, it's like, it looks comfortable. In my opinion, it looks comfortable. And then these are my flowers. This is actually took me way longer than I wanted it to. And then this is Lewis's station because he needs to do the little robot. And yeah, there's more floral. There's my little bear. I can't get rid of my bear. These are not symmetrical, but I kind of like it that way. We'll see. Maybe one day I'll get like 2 big frames and then I'll just replace them and then I'll give 1 or 2 of them away. But until I get something better, these non-symmetrical guys are gonna stay. But yeah, very important to keep track of symmetry. And yeah, two over there, 2 over there. If you guys get pillows, get 2 of the same thing. And you don't have to have like the same color scheme because this is a solid white and this is a cream color. But if they're around, right? I mean, you don't have to get the same exact shade. Like you can go like softer. So that bear is a tan, and then this pillow is a cream, and then this is a white. And because it's kind of similar in the color, it's kind of similar to this thing too, right? Because you got that cardboard color plus the white. So these 2 things, although they are different, what binds them together is you got white, right? These white border things, I don't know what you call it, matting. This thing, and then you also have like a similar color here and here. See, here and here, similar colors. This and this is similar colors. And then you also have fake, this is fake floral. These are just like scrap leaves I had lying around. So, and then you also have that. So although they are different, there's a sense of what ties them together is they have the similar color schemes, and then they also have these 2 mats. And then yeah, that and that. So it's I always have to think about that. But if I had them the same exact size or the same exact print, that would look good. Like same frame, different thing, right? It could be the same size frame, different thing inside, but as long as they were the same size with the same like white border, I could have made it work. But I have 2 different frames, 2 different frame colors. So yeah, so something like this, like if you guys remember, like I had a whole bunch of picture frames over here. I got rid of a load of it. But this is really a work in progress. This is a table. The freaking little robot, most likely I'm gonna give it away. It's a freaking side project. And yeah, that side I'm still working on. I still have the ladder because I was actually working on that earlier today, the eucalyptus leaves, but just slowly moving this way and then moving towards the middle, and it gets a little crazy or so, but progress is progress. And although it's not as fast or not as nice as I would like it to be, it is slowly moving. So another thing, and I know this is turning into a really convoluted stream, but another thing I would recommend is if you have fake floral, make it a mixture of real and fake. So this is a dried one over here. This is a dried real greenery, and this is a dried real greenery, but the rest are fake. So I have it this way because when your eye looks at it, I feel like your eye would look at certain pieces and be like, oh, this is actually real. So then it makes everything else look more real. You see where I'm getting at? Like if you have pops of real with fakeness, but it doesn't look too fake already, then it gives more genuineness to the whole arrangement. So this arrangement was looking a little thin, but yeah, I was just drawing floral and I said, hey, let me pop this one over here. And then about 2 weeks later, I said, hey, let me pop this one over here. These actually didn't dry out the way I expected. These actually were supposed to be green, and then when I dried them, they ended up being black. So we'll see how long I keep them. Maybe I'll swap them out in the future, but yeah, this is a forever arrangement. This is not going to be going anywhere. And unsurprisingly, what is this a group of? This is a group of 3. Well, technically a group of 4 if you include the beads. And then it's all in a freaking silver tray because the silver tray keeps everything together. Normally I don't have anything on here, but this is a table, so the station is on here. So yeah, it is you know what the problem is? Like this thing in itself, you guys can't, oh my gosh, it's slanted. The thing I don't like about this wall is that brick on that side is much higher, more widthwise than that side. So when I tried hanging the brick clips, I absolutely could not put anything on this side, and then it looked off center. So I got rid of a whole crap load of stuff on here, and then I just went with these 2 because I said, okay, well, this is really the best that I can do, unless I drill holes in the wall. And yeah, it gets a little crazy looking over there. So that's the kitty poop bowls. Hello, you guys. Do you see me? Hello. And this is, yeah, I gotta actually put that away. So this is another thing that I tried to do, symmetry. See, 2 candles, 1 thing, 2 plants. And if you look, I have soil in here. See that? So this is stuff that I've been working on slowly but surely. These are moss balls. See that? Unsurprisingly, what is this in a group of? 1, 2, 3. 3 is a lucky number. 1, 2, 3, right? 1, 2, 3. Over here, 1 candle, 2 candle, 3 candle. Oh my goodness, my freaking fingers. I gotta dust this thing. Yeah, 1 candle, 2 candle, 3 candle, but total together is 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. It actually takes more mental energy than I would like over here. And yeah, but that is basically what I've been working on. And yeah, I'm progressing over there. Oh, this was my first second actually dried floral arrangement over here. I don't know, maybe, yeah, I tried to fill it on with some crappy looking roses. I might actually change that, but that's my other dried floral arrangement. So we have a whole crap load of flowers over here. There is no shortage of floral. If I had free flowers, I wouldn't even know where to really put them at the moment. Oh, and there's the cardboard I need to toss out. And yeah, see, there's my wreath. You guys might remember that from holiday decor. 3 pine cones. One's from Maine, one's from Seattle, and one is the first pine cone I ever picked up. The one in the middle is the first pine cone I ever picked up. And then that one is something that I picked up from Hawaii at 75% off. So, yeah. So, again, let's count it, right? How many pine cones is over here? 1, 2, 3. How many candles are over here? 1, 2, 3. And then, yeah, I tried going without 1 candle, but it looked a little wonky. So I ended up going with 3 candles. See? And then, yeah, so it's just a whole bunch of stuff. And it gets a little neurotic after a while because I'm just like 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Yeah. So when I'm done with this whole thing, I'd like to show you guys like a full freaking room tour or a freaking full tour of this apartment, but I haven't done everything yet. But this is a little glimpse. I still need to go through this clothes. Here's my little Himalayan salt. I made my own little decoration over here. This was all free. I have moss in here. What is this? 1, 2, 3. You guys are noticing a trend. You guys have to notice a trend here. So all my little decorations that I do, I try to keep them in groups of 3 because that's what other people do who are good at home decor, and they're doing it, and it works for them, then certainly I should follow suit. It's a good balance. I feel like a lot of it just looks balanced. Like it's not two, because like two looks a little too small. So if you have it in a group of three, somehow it looks right. And it's kind of like the tried and true thing. A lot of like decorative things you'll see for like decorations, like on a shelf or on a living room. That's done by a professional organizer. You'll see something like two books with one thing on top, or three books together, or three candlesticks together, or yeah, three. Just it's just groups of threes. It really is just groups of threes. I don't know. I don't know why. I don't know why it's 5 and 7 look a little big, but yeah, groups of threes, or if you want to decorate and have balance, right, do one candle on one side, one candle on the other side, and then one in the middle. But when you count it, it's 1, 2, 3, just like I did with that thing. See? So I think the whole point of that is, yeah, so here's my thing. What is this? It's a group of three. I don't think it works out. It looks a little freaking crazy. So I think part of it why it looks so crazy is I have, look at this. How many suitcases do we have? 3. I'm kidding. I'm kidding, guys. So yeah, something like this over here. I did not choose those flowers. I know it's 3 flowers, but yeah, I literally only had 3 flowers when I did this. So yeah, I think it's because 2 can serve as framing piece. 1, right? This thing frames it, and then the middle just stands out. But yeah, 3 seems to be the thing. I don't know. What's with the slashes going down the wall underneath the fluffy wreath? The fluffy wreath? Oh, those? Oh, that's a freaking... Let me see. Yeah. Let's see. The fluffy wreath. Let's see here. This? Oh, yeah, this is actually liquid damage. If you guys look up, I think there was a water leak or something. So, yeah, this is premium top quality New York. Yeah, we also have, I don't know what the hell that is. See over there? We got something over there too. So it goes all the way up to the CLA. See that? So, yeah, you just make do with what you got. And I feel like, yeah, having stuff like this makes it a little warmer. And, but yeah, I can only achieve this if I start decluttering stuff more intentionally, and then get to a point where the whole freaking apartment looks balanced, and it is completely a work in progress for sure. But my thinking is that I work on sections, and then as I work on sections, right, eventually all the sections match together, and then when all the sections match together, that's when I have a full complete piece. So that's why I've been working on like little sections, like on the kitchen, and then I'll freaking circle back, and yeah, it becomes easier and easier and easier. But yeah, I still don't know where the hell that person is. I'm supposed to meet up with some person for that freaking tablecloth, and yeah, I feel like I'm doing a cat and mouse game with them. They're like, "Oh, can I come over?" And I say, "Yeah, I'm not home right now. I'll be home in 30 minutes." And then they don't come. And then I'm like, "Okay." And they're like, "Oh, can I reschedule for you tomorrow?" Okay. And then they said they'll swing by, and I asked them like, well, what time are you going to swing by? And then they don't reply, and I almost feel like, dude, I'm asking you, I understand you're a busy person, but understand that I'm waiting for you, and I want this thing to be like done. So I know it sounds like I'm being totally bitchy right now, but I just think like like you gotta, like, I understand you want to run errands, but it's not like I want to have my whole freaking day waiting for you to pick up this freaking tablecloth. I'm giving it away. I'm giving it away. So this one, yeah, it's just like this kind of stuff. Like eventually, I feel like I'm getting a little worn down by certain things, because it's like I don't want to go. I don't know what it is. Like I feel like for certain people, it's just like, look, I understand. I understand you're a busy individual, but I don't want to plan my whole freaking schedule around you. I don't want to have to wait on standby for you to tell me, like, give me a time slot, right? Like, I'm not asking you to tell me, okay, I'll be there at 3 o'clock. Like, tell me I'll be there between 3 o'clock and 4 o'clock, or I'll be there between 3 o'clock to 5 o'clock. And that way I'm on the lookout between those 2 hours. But if I ask you what time you're going to swing by and you totally ghost me, it's like, okay, so yeah. So yesterday what happened is that they told me they were swinging by. They didn't tell me when. And then they said like, oh, can I swing by now? And I replied to them and I said, yeah, like I said, I'm not home right now. I'll be home in 30 minutes. And then I replied, they didn't reply to me. And then I get home and I say, hey, I'm home right now. Zero reply for the rest of the day, like nothing. So just the fact that I didn't respond to them for like 20 minutes, 20 or 30 minutes, it's like they don't even bother to check their messages. See? So it's like, oh, for frick's sake. And that agitates me a bit because, like, right now I'm like, oh, jeez. So, I'm getting less and less. I know this is gonna sound like something, but I'm getting less and less interested in giving things to certain people now, because like this is, I don't know what it is, but it's like it started as a really good thing, and then after a while, it's like I feel like I have to chase people, and it's like you want these items. So, yeah, like work with my schedule. It's not like I want to just, yeah, or like some people will be like, oh, I'll be there tomorrow. And then the next day I'm like, hey, where are you? And they're like, oh, sorry, I'm out right now, that kind of stuff. I'm like, okay. So it sends this message like you're like the lowest freaking priority, but in true reality, you're doing them a favor. Um, that kind of stuff. So here's another thing. So this is like stuff that I was gonna put in a free box. See this? And I'm actually a little apprehensive of giving this out. Do you know why? Because what happened with that situation was that I was actually putting clothes inside of there. And then there's these like total scumbags who just will toss their like used coffee cup inside of there, and then they'll stain the clothes. And they'll just throw trash in there. They'll throw like an empty bottle in there. They'll throw like a closed bottle of water in there. They're just used as a trash can. I'm like, dude, 4 feet away is a freaking trash can. You don't have to use my free box, which obviously has stuff like clothes inside of it, as your personal trash can. Now, the problem with that is that if the stuff gets damaged, right? If the stuff gets stained, then I have to go through the box, and then I have to say, okay, I got to rewash stuff, and then I got to also take out the offending item as well. And I've had to do that for about like 2 weeks in a row. So this week, I should have put stuff out, but I was like, I just didn't feel like cleaning up my own box. So yeah. So now I'm encountering issues with people being kind of like jerks, and then other people just throwing stuff into a free box, and I don't know what it is. So I think it's like why would you do that too, right? If you see a box of clothes in there that someone left out for other people, why would you throw your trash in there? Do you not have hands? You can't throw your trash in there? But what I've realized around like the people, like not everybody in this neighborhood, but sometimes there are people in the neighborhood where it's like they don't give a crap. They'll walk out of a store, right? Let's say eating a snack like a candy bar, and then they'll put the candy bar in their mouth. Like let's say for instance, I'm eating a Snickers bar, right? So I open the package, I get the Snickers bar, right? I eat it, and then I just throw the trash on the ground. And it's like even though the trash can is 3 feet in front of me, these people can't be bothered to walk 3 feet. They just be like, fuck it, I'll just throw the trash on the ground. And it's sad. So I saw someone talking to another person who was saying like, hey, pick up your trash, and the person just didn't care. And I felt bad for that person. I was like, geez, I felt bad for the person who stood up and said, like, pick up your trash. And this person was probably about significantly older. I want to say they were around 60 or 70 years old, but I might be remembering around, but they were significantly old. They were at least 50 years old. And yeah, a person who was like substantially younger. I think the person who threw the trash was probably around 40s, and then the person who told them to pick up the trash was probably about 60, maybe late 50s, 60s, 70s or so. And there's just like there's no respect. So that's what you notice around, I don't want to say around New York as a whole, but that's what you notice around the areas. Like people just don't give a crap. They're like, I'm gonna throw my trash wherever I want to throw the trash. And I don't know if it comes from a sense of entitlement. I don't know if it's like, I'm too rich. And this is not a rich neighborhood, okay? But it's almost like I'm too rich to throw my trash in a trash can. And yeah, other people can do it because I make, I don't know. Well, I make money and other people who maybe pick up their trash make less than me. I think it comes from a sense of entitlement. I think that it comes from a lack of regard. And I know it's terrible for me to say it, but it's like for people who don't care about their community or don't care about like being a litter bug, it's like if something happened to them, I wouldn't care. Like seriously, if I saw someone littering and then like 1 minute later they got hit by a car, I would say, oh, well, one less litter bug out there in the world. And it's like, I know being socially aware, I shouldn't say this kind of stuff. I should say like, oh, you don't know, they're a precious human being and they should all be, I hope nothing happens to them. But it's like I see the ugly side in people, and I see the side of people where it's like they just don't give a crap about other people. And as a result of that, it's like I care less about people who I see this kind of behavior in, because it's like, how can you expect me to care when you don't even care about the environment that you live in? And then people wonder, right, why does this neighborhood have so much trash? And the answer is that when you have more than one person just throwing things carelessly on the sidewalk, no one wants to pick it up because they're too good for that, then you end up with like a litter problem. And it saddens me a lot. It saddens me a lot. So I can't control other people. I can't change how other people act. All I can do is be conscious of my own actions, right? So that's what I try to do. But in terms of, let's say, putting things out in a free box, I'm becoming less and less um, excited to do that, because it's like I don't want to throw things out and be like, oh frick, now I gotta clean coffee out of all this stuff because some asshole decided to throw it in there. Yeah. Oh, even in Pennsylvania. Oh, yeah, yeah, never mind. No one. Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yeah. Yeah, we have a lot of locks. We have a lot of locks, and it's kind of indicative of just being in, this kind of neighborhood. And if you guys ever see me out and about, you'll see that how I come off. It's like I'm very aware of it. I have no problem looking bummy if I'm out and about, because I don't want to get mugged. But yeah, I try to make this apartment. I know this is gonna sound funny, but I try to make this apartment look. I want to make this apartment look aesthetic, and I just also am mindful about, like, I think part of the reason why I want to make this apartment look aesthetic is because I look outside and I see the litter and I see the ugliness in people, and I think of this apartment as like my little getaway, a little temporary getaway. Yeah. You don't recall the last time I saw some litter? Oh my gosh. If you start my walking streams, you see litter, 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 litter. Just people don't give a crap. And yeah, I shouldn't say this, but it's like sometimes the people who are like litter bugs, it's like, I don't know what it is. It's almost like I want to say, like, do you not have respect for yourself? Like, do you think your community is going to clean up itself if you do not take action, take control of your own actions? Like, I don't litter. Um I don't litter. If I'm out and about and I see litter on the ground, like sometimes I'll pick it up because I'm like, frick, I don't want to see a plastic bag around the frickin' neighborhood. I'm just randomly moving around. It sucks, It's like if I don't pick that stuff up, eventually it goes into a drain ditch and then it goes off in the ocean, and we already have so much freaking plastic in the ocean. But yeah, a lot of people, it's just like not my problem. I don't got to deal with it kind of thing. And yeah, from where we live, I see, like, sometimes I see people and they're just so aggressive, and I'm like, why are you mad? What, why are you, do you need more fake plants in your life? Is that it? But yeah, it's like it turns into a cycle, because sometimes people, they just get into this cycle of being like a shitty person, And then after they become a shitty person, then they get mad because they notice other people are being also shitty people around them. And they're like, oh, how come my neighborhood looks so crappy? Oh, I'm pissed off. My neighborhood looks so crappy. Let me throw my chip bag on the ground. And then, yeah, people question why things are the way they are, and sometimes people are refuse to change. And when people refuse to change, that's what causes the issues, right? You get not just one litter bug, you get 3 litter bugs, 4 litter bugs, 5 litter bugs. It's not, you cannot like, here's the thing, like if you had I see it too. We have like volunteer groups where they say help clean up the community, right? And these are people, it's like they wake up at 7 a.m. walking around the community trying to clean it up, not the whole freaking area, but like the park that's nearby us. And I just kind of think like, I don't join any of those volunteer groups because I pick up litter independently. I don't want to be like, okay, hold up, I'm gonna walk over to a park at 7 a.m. to help clean it up. The real issue is that you shouldn't ask for volunteers to clean up stuff. You should demand to people to stop freaking littering. Like tell people, instead of cleaning up the park, let's all stop littering. Let's look at a trash can. There's probably a trash can within 10 feet of us at all given times. Freaking use it. And if there's not 10 feet, it's in within 30 feet, right? Because if you have a lot of apartment buildings, one thing about New York is, or any houses, right? You have all these trash cans up in front. And Normal knows exactly what I'm talking about, right? So they got the recycled trash can, they got the regular trash can, and every freaking house or apartment has one. And because there's so many freaking area, you're gonna be hard pressed not finding a trash can, at least a residential trash can. So yeah, but I still see people, they just have this nonchalant like F it attitude. And I see people litter. I remember I had this, okay, look at this. I put out my free box in front of where we live once, and then there was a guy sitting where I tie the free box, right? He was drinking some kind of mango drink or so. And then he was sitting on the little fence, and right on the fence is a small little grassy area about 2 feet by 2 feet long, maybe like 3 feet by 2 feet long. And he just nonchalantly just throws his cardboard box of juice right inside of the grassy area in front of where we live, and it was right in front of me. Now I was thinking to myself like, shit, I should tell this guy off. And then I thought to myself, Erica, be realistic here. Be realistic. If you tell this guy off, he knows where you live. So you got to watch out. So I didn't say anything. And then I see him, like he sees me, he picks it up, right? And right in front of him, within 3 feet in front of him is a freaking trash can, the residential trash can. So he can go in, pick it up, right? Takes him maybe 15 seconds to throw it away. Did he do it? Well, I went down a couple hours later to check on my free box because I didn't want people throwing stuff inside of it. And I see the juice box in the grassy area. So he got up and he just left his trash there. So I ended up throwing his juice box away. And I wasn't too happy about it. And yeah, the next week after that, that's when someone tossed a water bottle inside of my free box. And the next week after that, someone threw a coffee cup inside of my free box. And it's like 3 feet away from the freaking trash can. But people can't be bothered by it. They're probably walking and they're like, oh, look, it's a freaking cardboard box. I'll throw my trash in there because someone else will clean it up for me. So yeah, that kind of stuff. It's like, oh, frick, like you would think people would have the common sense to realize like, huh, someone has a free box. They put the free box out because they want other people to take advantage of free things. Maybe I shouldn't throw my trash in there. But yeah, people just do that kind of stuff, and it saddens me a lot because it's like you kind of extinguish a little brightness in the world by doing these kind of actions. It's like, so yeah, now I have a free box and I'm just like, I don't really want to put stuff in there right now because I don't want to have to clean up freaking spilled coffee or something, or have to rewash stuff. Yeah. You know what the downside is though? If you toss a cigarette, for instance, the cigarette has a bunch of chemicals. So when birds lay eggs, The birds who use like cigarette buds, or sometimes birds like using cigarette buds as like a nest material, right? They say that the birds' eggshells are significantly thinner because of all, birds are so freaking sensitive to chemicals and fumes and stuff like that. So it actually has a detrimental effect on the wildlife. And people don't realize that. People say like, what's the harm of just tossing out a cigarette bud? It adds up. It really adds up, and you really don't want to disrupt the natural balance of the ecosystem with littering. I mean, like, littering is so preventable. So, yeah, that kind of stuff, it's just, yeah. Yeah, like seeing, so combination of the free box stuff plus situation with like the tablecloth. And it was like yesterday, yesterday was a thing where, yeah, I know I was being a little da-da-da-da about the pump thing. I mean, like, I own up to it. Like, I totally did not realize it was missing a part. But yeah, it's just like, I think I make it so freaking simple. Okay, here, let me know what time range you have. Give me a 5 minute heads up. That's all I ask. Give me a 5 minute heads up. Don't just be all like, oh, okay, I'm here. And I'm like, whoa, what happened to my 5 minute heads up? It's like, I don't even know what time people are arriving. That's the other thing too, right? So between, let's say someone tells me I'll be there between 3 and 4 o'clock, right? And I ask them, okay, if you're going to be here between 3 to 4 o'clock, give me a 5 minute heads up. And if they don't give me a 5 minute heads up, it's like, oh, okay, well, and then they say like, I'm waiting outside. It's like, oh, okay, well, yeah, you're gonna have to wait a couple minutes because I was in the middle of something, and now I have to stop abruptly what I'm doing without even any cushion because you're waiting downstairs. See? Yeah, so that kind of stuff, it's like, I think it just like turns me off of things. And the things that I do, it's like sometimes I stop doing certain things. It's not because I lose the passion to do it for no freaking reason. And I say the same thing about volunteering. Like, you guys know, before I used to volunteer at a food pantry, I stopped it after I had that one dramatic thing. I'm like, dude, I'm a freaking unpaid volunteer. I'm not doing this because of um, community service guideline or anything like that. And yeah, I just said, screw it. I don't want to do it anymore. So I went from volunteering to 2 events a week to just 1 event a week now. And I'm not in a rush to volunteer more because I understand that the more volunteering opportunities I do, the more the more I might come across some narcissistic, egotistical, megalomaniac kind of individuals, and it saddens me. It saddens me a lot because it's like you'll see people with certain personalities in there, and it's like they're just so, oh my gosh, they irritate me so much. So yeah, and this is already a convoluted stream. It's supposed to be a short stream, but it's obviously a very long stream. But yeah, just don't, just like I said, if whatever you do, like, the more you put yourself out there in life, expect to see crappy human beings. And I don't want to just say it's for a New York kind of thing, because New York seems to have a pretty high population of crappy human beings for whatever reason. Like, I don't see this stuff in Hawaii. People in Hawaii are very nice and respectful. I don't know what happened to New York, but it's funny because it's like New York, the tax rate is like double the tax rate of Hawaii. Hawaii, our state tax is 4.712%, if I remember correctly. In New York, it's like 9% or something for sales tax. You don't get taxed on food, if I remember correctly, but you get taxed on like buying clothing and other stuff as well. So you think with all those freaking tax dollars you're getting, right? Shouldn't this place look really great? But the reality is New York is kind of like falling apart at the seams, and it's run by criminals. I firmly believe that it's run by total crappy people. And if you allow yourself to be like a run over kind of stuff, then these people, they're just, I don't know what causes it. Like, I don't know psychology enough to know why there's so much crappy people that I come across in New York. It's not even like I try to find them. It's like they just appear. But whatever the reason is, it's like you owe it to yourself to kind of distance. And there are some good people in New York, like, don't get me wrong, but there are people who is just like less than savory, for sure. Not all of them. Some have been, but there's some really nice people. Like, don't get me wrong. Get a mask and a cape and go Batman on the city. I think what happens, and this is just my speculation, I think when you're across people, come across people who around others who are just very like loudmouth. I don't want to say loudmouth, but they're very like assertive and they're very like, like you can't tell me what to do. Like what the fuck, do you, that kind of stuff. Like those people, when those people have kids, and those kids are around parents who are like that and relatives who are like that, family friends who are like that, it brings about conditioning. And then as those kids get older, that's all they know. That's all they know. And then they don't know how to interact with people. And if they see someone who is different from them, right, more quieter and something like that, they're going to be like, oh, I know how to, I've been trained for a number of years about how to talk to people, and they can smell weakness on you because they think like, oh, if you're not ready to pop off, then you're a weak person. And I don't want to pop off because first of all, if you pop off in New York, you know what I'm talking about? You got to make sure you're able to deal with escalation. And I don't pack heat. I don't carry, a pointed object on me. So I don't want to get into like a fight with someone because of a something, right? But and I might be misinterpreting this wrong, but it's like I think like it's so freaking unhealthy. It's so unhealthy to just kind of like just be like to be overtly aggressive, and then you feel the need to carry a weapon on you, and probably instigating stuff, or if you're not instigating stuff, right? You're not afraid of instigating stuff because you know that you're armed. And it's flawed because like you guys know, like I'm not anti-weapon, I'm not anti that. I believe in responsible ownership, but when you have people who are raised in a certain environment, who are around people who just like crank it up to 100 for whatever reason sometimes, and they're just very like they're they're really like they got such an attitude problem, like those kind of people. It's almost like you got to know that when you deal with these kind of people, these people will escalate super quickly, because they're used to escalating super quickly. So I want you guys to like hear about this, because if anybody is thinking about moving to New York, and I know some people are going to be like, I don't want ever want to move to New York, Erica, based on what you say, based on what I say, right? It's like I want you guys to hear what I'm saying about New York, because I came from a place it was not like New York at all. I came from a place where people are friendly to each other. You might have a few assholes around, but it's far and few between. It's nothing like New York. New York, prepare to get scammed. Prepare for people to kind of like size you up, and also kind of like try to read you. Every time I walk outside of this apartment, I have to be thinking like, okay, how do I look today? Do I look like I have money? Do I look like I have too much money? And it's like you guys see my freaking closet. It doesn't look like a high value closet, but if you see how other people dress, right? Depending on how I dress, it stands out a lot. So I tend to look kind of like casual all the time, because it's like at the end of the day, I just want to get home safe. I don't want to get robbed. I don't want to get assaulted, and I don't want to give off signals that, oh, look, this chick looks like she spends, a comfortable amount of money, and she has pretty nice stuff. So yeah, she's the person we want to target. And I'm very aware that home invasions happen, and I don't want anybody thinking like, oh, she walked out of the house with some pretty nice stuff. Oh, okay, yeah, that's the place that we want to hit up. It's like if anybody tries to hit up this place, I'll be like, dude, there's no freaking valuables in here, really. It's like it's basically the creation of a dumpster diver or a person who like finds things off the sidewalk. That's it. But yeah, the stuff that's really valuable, in my opinion, is the memories and the experiences. It's not really the physical item. So I don't like to make investments in physical items because I'm consciously aware that this stuff can get stolen. And I don't want to ever give anybody that luxury of, oh, okay, we stole her valuable jewelry and we're going to cash out on thousands of dollars because we stole her jewelry. See? Um, Litter robot would be taken first. Possible, possible. And who knows? Who knows? Depends if they know what it is. But yeah, I went out. So I was on the subway, and I carried that thing on there. Someone asked me. They said, "What is that?" And I told them it was a litter robot, and they said, "Oh, so They said I told them it's a cat litter box, and then they told me something along the lines of they're like, oh wow, I've never seen that. I said, yeah, it's like a top of the line $500 litter box. I was just very casual about it, and because I wanted them to understand, like, if they come across one of those things because they were curious, like, that's a high value litter box. It wasn't really like a brag or anything like that. It was just like, yeah, be on the lookout for these litter boxes. And I looked around me after I said that, and I noticed some people were like looking at me. And I was just thinking, like, oh, damn. Well, thankfully, it's a used litter box because if I had like a brand new litter box, a litter robot or something, like, who knows? If it was a brand new in box, I'm pretty sure someone would have tried to take my litter robot. So I try to keep things very close when I'm out. And I always try to look bummy. If you guys look at that, this is our laundry, by the way. But if you look at that Fresh Direct bag gets a lot of usage because it works as a privacy shield. I can carry something very valuable. I can carry something that's like $3,000 in that bag, and nobody would stop me because they'd look at that bag and be like, "It's so freaking bummy." So no, he hasn't soldered it, so it's not working still. But yeah, so yeah, maybe this stream was way too freaking long, but yeah, I should make a freaking safety video or something one day. Who knows? But yeah, this kind of stuff, like, just like I've said before, many, many, many times before, if you live in New York, watch your back. Watch your back. Watch what you say out in public. Watch if you mention monetary amounts. Watch if you carry any expensive stuff that looks expensive because you might think it's okay, but other people will be like, "Oh crap, that's $300," or "Oh crap, that's a couple $100." Um, and like I showed you guys that one video with that woman who got assaulted and had her backpack stolen. Her flaw was when she was wearing the backpack, she had both straps on one shoulder. So when she got punched in the head and she fell down, the thief was easily able to grab her backpack because they didn't have to take it off both hands. They just had to take it off one hand. So I don't carry any purses on me, right? Like I'll carry like a Fresh Direct bag, but I won't carry any purse on me because uh, unless it's a crossbody, because if I get assaulted, if even if I get knocked down, you're gonna have to get that freaking purse off of the top of my head. Um, and yeah, I don't carry any valuables in my purse. I'm very minimalistic inside of that purse because it's like I'm very keenly aware someone would steal my stuff. And the bigger the bag, right? The more, like, if I had a backpack on me, people would assume that I had a laptop on me. And sure enough, that woman who got her backpack stolen, she had a MacBook inside of there. So that's probably about $500 resale value, or less, right? Depending on the model. So yeah, thieves are very, very talented here. They're very honed. And if you are a woman carrying a backpack, you are a target, especially if you have the straps on one shoulder rather than both shoulders. So if you visit New York, you guys, make sure you have both straps of your backpack on each shoulder, one strap on each shoulder. So that way if you get punched in the head, the person doesn't be all like, okay, I'm just gonna grab your backpack off of you. Mm. So anonymous says, an individual says that you're worried about people in my free group. Here's the thing: we don't live in a house, so you don't know exactly where we live. So And then we also have security over here, so it's not like you just walk in and it's super easy to get in or anything like that. Yeah. The way you just casually, yeah. Ford Engineer says that is the reality of New York. Like, if you don't believe me, look at certain things, look at certain news that you see from New York. There was something like 10 shootings in one day in New York very recently. Very, very recently. I think it happened within the last 3 days. And 10 separate shootings in New York all in one day. That's how bad you know what violence is here, and it's surreal. It's surreal, but like I told you guys in my stream yesterday, right? It's like they talk about the death of one person being a sad thing, but then when you have volume, it's like it's just a statistic. And the same thing happens with certain certain things. Hold on. Um anyway, I'm getting a call from, you know, Papa Sina. Yeah, so I'm getting a call from Papa Sina, aka Daddy-O. So I will talk to you guys later. And yeah, it's his birthday today. So yeah, I hope he has a really, really good birthday. Um, but yeah, you guys take care, and I shall talk to you guys later. Uh, yeah. Look at this. Okay, so really quickly, when I was 8 or 9 years old, some guy pushed me down and ripped $20 out of my hand. I was about to hand to a street vendor that put me off in New York City ever since I was little and stuck to a jersey. Um, yeah, you gotta make sure that I would not recommend carrying cash in New York, truly. I would recommend having a credit card because, like, maybe you carry $5 cash on you or $20, but keep that stuff hidden. You'll have to probably pay a service charge if you buy stuff in New York, for certain retailers. But the good thing about a credit card is if someone steals your credit card, you can always report the card as lost and stolen and get your money back. Versus cash, right? You get your cash stolen out of hand. So when I was in Hawaii, I used to carry a wallet with me. I used to carry cash on me and credit card and all this stuff. In New York, I don't do that. Because it's like I think to myself, like, frick, I don't want a person to steal my cash. I don't want people to have access to all my credit cards. And yeah, that would not be good. So it's just, yeah, it's dangerous. So just a little thing about safety. And yeah, you guys take care. See ya.